I'm Mike DeArmond. I'm here representing Thorlabs laser division. If you're not familiar with Thorlabs, we've been in the photonics community now for 30 plus years. We're a vertically integrated company, so we do everything from optical mirrors, filters, to fiber draws, including some technological abilities to do even some soft glass optical fibers, mechanical assemblies, machine work, et cetera, all the way up to the full systems. Since our inception, we've now grown to represent more than 2,400 employees worldwide, and that is over 25 locations globally. Those 25 locations you can see here represented by the pins in the map. You'll notice in North America, there is a few black pins, and those represent laser division, which is what I'm part of. And it's one of our products that I'll be introducing you to today. I'm based here in the headquarters in New Jersey, which is also where we produce our source, which Noel has already discussed. The general type, which is an SPD-C type source. Now, this is not a, so this is a little bit different for this venue. It's not an entangled source. It is a heralded single photon source. So we're really targeting single photon work. And our goal here was to produce a low barrier of entry to customers to get up and running quickly to do single photon work. In order to do that, we're using a type 2 collinear SPD-C source, and we take those two photons. So we have an integrated 405 pump laser to produce degenerate pairs at 810. And then we split those two polarizations off and we fiber couple them to outputs to the signal and idler channel. And you can see those here on the right. That includes the patch cables as well. And it's a high brightness source. So many hundreds of thousands, 450,000 pairs per second on a high heralding ratio of about 0.45. Again, you know, the goal here was to really provide something turnkey that somebody can quickly get up and running and start operating. So it includes everything you see here on the right, the power supply, the communications link, and also even the fiber patch cables, just to make sure that you're really able to use it quickly. And even if you don't want to mess with your own control software and use the available serial commands, you could instead use a GUI that we provide for the users as well. And then in line with sort of other Thorlabs products and our company in general, this is a product that we try to keep stocked. So it's something that you could literally go on the web, put in your cart, add it to your cart and have it shipped in a couple of days and be ready to get up and running. As I mentioned, this is the first type, this type of product for us, for Thorlabs and for laser division as well. And it's going to serve as sort of the building block for the next generation of sources, some of which Noel has pointed out are of interest. And some of those you can kind of guess what they might be. First and foremost are other wavelengths. If people are interested in 1550, the telecom wavelengths on top of the 810. Other things in our short-term roadmap are narrower line widths. We've heard that, and we know that that is a hard cutoff for barrier of entry for some application spaces. And then of course, a truly polarization entangled source. It'll follow the same ethos and design principle of being simple to use, fully contained, and delivered quickly. And then there's more to come. And then, you know, to earlier points in terms of connecting people, you know, what I really hope to get out of this is also some feedback that I've already gotten a fair bit of, and that is, you know, what is the market demanding? What would they like to see? What barriers do you see in your application space? Thorlabs offers more than 20,000 products, and about 20% of those are either customer inspired or directly requested by customers. So I'm really kind of hoping to get some feedback of where you'd like to see us push these sources. And coming from not only Thorlabs, but also the laser division, we're a pretty small and dynamic group. And so our runway from product conception and market demand to a released product is relatively short. Makes us a great potential partner for anyone looking to develop a solution for your application. So with that, I'll leave you with my contact there. Feel free to reach out.
Wow, that's impressive. I mean, you're actually selling from inventory. That's pretty wild. In quantum, that's pretty wild, in my opinion, right? So what, in terms of like, you know, what do you see as the best markets, or what is Thorlabs looking for this particular product? And we realize you're going to have a polarization entangled source upcoming pretty soon. Where do you think these products are going to be the most useful for customers? What applications?
Yeah, in the short term, if you just want to talk about this type of heralded source, we're primarily seeing things for any sort of single photon work. I know that's sort of redundant to say, but a lot of sensor testing, basic communication and encryption protocols. It's really something designed to put on your benchtop and quickly workshop an idea, right? To quickly get up and running and test some things in principle, do it inexpensively, do it easily with a warranty and support and everything else. And then moving on to those entangled sources, obviously it's an entirely different application space. There are a number of applications that you can't really access until you have that polarization entangled source. So that's sort of looking ahead, and then we're excited to move into that space as well.
And also a 1550 version, which is also critical.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And, that is, I hate to tell the engineers how easy their job is, but it's a relatively straightforward swap. Once you have this platform to swap out a pump laser, a crystal, and some related optics. So it really does make it relatively straightforward to deliver those other wavelengths or custom wavelengths, and not custom, but maybe shifted wavelengths, I think is probably a better term. Yeah. Great.
And then, so in terms of, this is a pretty powerful statement you have on your takeaway point here in the slide, so you want customers to reach out to you, even if they have a custom requirement in this particular area?
Yeah, that's right. We want to see that feedback, and there are some, it always makes, that's always sort of been a guiding principle of Thorlabs, right? To be customer driven, the voice of the customer. We've very much focused on that in customer support and service. So yeah, when we see a market demand from an integrator or somebody that feels very strongly about a direction for a research program or an application space to market, it's absolutely something we want to hear about and have an open discussion about to see if we can develop a solution.
Mike, this is Hunter. I think my microphone's finally working.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Yep, interesting presentation. So I wondered if you happen to have any sort of a basic comparison spec sheet and or any white papers available, because I'm curious what the power demands are and what the installation looks like in something like this.
Yeah, so the installation, it's quite literally a benchtop unit that you can...
Looks like.
Yeah, you can put it on your desk, plug it into the wall, and turn it on with the GUI, and you'll start getting photons. We have full specs. I didn't want to cram too much into these slides. You can see the detailed spec sheet on the web. I'm also happy if you want to touch base offline, and if there's something in particular that you want to know about them, I'm happy to share those details as well.
Most importantly is likely the power consideration, and also what rack space it might require, and any types of limitations on distance, proximity to other devices, et cetera. Those types of things would be something that would be considered by the team.
Yeah, so the pump laser has a maximum operating output power of about 150 milliwatts to give you an idea there. So a CW, 150 milliwatts, it's a pretty modest power demand. This is passively cooled. We don't even have a fan. It's not really required. So I wouldn't have any great concerns with proximity to other pieces of equipment or crowding it for overheating. And you can kind of get a sense of the scale here with the optical table with the 1-inch spaced holes, but it's a yay big if you can actually see that on the screen.
That's like a deck of cards. How do that hand motion again?
It's a little bigger than a deck of cards, about 8 inches by maybe 6 inches or so, and then just a couple of maybe 2.5 or 3 inches tall.
Bigger than a bread box, smaller than the Empire State Building. I get it.
Hey, thank you.